Now, is Tom look, he seems like a very happy guy. I'm not going to say he's giving cuck energy, but he's kind of got a bit of that aura to him.
Hello and welcome to the Loreboys, the #1 fake history podcast. I am here with the enigmatic. What are your guys' names?
Dr. Eggman Natic.
Dr. Eggmagnetic Peter O'Donohue, huh?
Peter O'Donohue. I will be removed from the film adaptation because I would fuck up the pace.
Yeah, exactly. Hey ho, hee hee. Tis little old me, Ethan Palmer.
I am James Miller. My name is.
What?
Thanks to our new patrons, which is actually none this time. If you have subscribed in the last couple weeks, we just preloaded a little bit here, but we will announce you on the next one.
I will thank you next week. Thank you very much. In advance, whoever you are, for your $3. Mwah.
Yeah.
So this one was requested by our patron, Magnus.
Magnusy, my boy, my beautiful baby boy.
Wanted to drop the Bombadil?
Yeah,
we got to get it on YouTube then, because that's the only way he listens to the show.
Oh, fuck.
So this is more Lord of the Rings lore, especially about the enigmatic Tom Bombadil. So far, what do you guys know about old Tommy? And I can build off of your knowledge.
I know admittedly nothing. Was he in The Hobbit, or is he exclusive to the Lord of the Rings? Yeah, because I've read The Hobbit. I haven't read Lord of the Rings. I am familiar with his character because of the D&D podcast, Greetings Adventures, formerly known as Drunks and Dragons. They had the DM of that podcast, Michael Damaro, had a Tom Bombadil-esque character who would show up and drop cryptic rhymes for the party and then would leave. And that was basically my first exposure to who he was. And then I looked him up. And that's all I know is he's a weird dude who shows up and rhymes, and I think he's immortal and is just super powerful or something. But that
is great. That is a perfect explanation of surface level Tom Bombadil, and that's it. That's what you should know. Pete, what do you know about
Top
him?
Bombadil?
No, I mean a little bit beyond the surface level, but nothing I want to spoil for the episode. I know, I think even Gandalf is just I don't know who the fuck he is, and I'm 5,000 years old, man. He's just really cool, and we're gonna hang out with him for a little bit, and some strange stuff goes down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's a great foundation. I'll walk us through everything we know about this mysterious figure. We'll talk a little bit about him, a couple quotes. We'll get into how he actually appears in the Fellowship of the Ring, so the first book of the trilogy for Lord of the Rings. And after the break, then we'll get into some theories on what he can be, because he is mysterious as fuck. He could be so many different things. And Tolkien's kind of touched on him a little bit in letters, too, so we can talk about what Tolkien said about him.
You think Tolkien did this on purpose, where he's just I'm going to write the history book. I'm going to do the Silmarillion. I'm going to do the appendices, Beren and Luthien, a bunch of extra supplemental stuff. And he's just I'm just not going to explain this one.
So I was literally just thinking it. I was I think Tolkien obviously loved the craft, the art of world building, right? I think he had so much fun, and I can't help but wonder, what our dumbass podcast talking about Tom Bombadil would have done to him, because not because of the mysteries of the future and all that, but just because it wasn't possible to be so dissected in his time, you know what I mean? So I think it was I made this goofy character. I think my heart of hearts, I'm not a Tolkien scholar or anything like that, so I don't know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my heart of hearts, I'm he probably just wrote fun stuff, and then he was doing the backronym thing. He was reverse engineering the lore for it, right? That was what the Silmarillion was. And I think Tom Bombadil is I made this fun, I wanted to write poems in my book, this silly little character who told poems, so I'm going to do that. And then He just never got around to reverse engineering the Y, right?
Well, the Ring and the Hobbit was not explicitly fucking super evil either. So even that is like an expansion on something there, right?
Exactly. That seems to be his style.
I was gonna put this later, but I'll since you kind of touched on it. Tolkien kind of was dissected a little bit about, especially Tom Bombadil. He got a lot of letters about Tom, and he made a couple comments. He said, a quote, "Tom Bombadil is not an important person to the narrative. I suppose he has some importance as a comment." He also said he represents...
So he's just like, I don't know, man. I just wanted a funny little guy that told poems, okay? Get off my... But that's what I'm saying. Like, he got letters. But like, could you imagine like trying to be on Twitter? You know what I mean? And have it like it'd be fucking insufferable. Like, I'm
the podcast of his day would be like scholars at Oxford debating or speaking to him out in the garden while he chews on his pipe, and it's just like, what's the meaning? What's the meaning? And he's just like, just a spot of mischief, and like chewing on his pipe stem, you know?
True fans who read his like 4,000 word trilogy and are now writing him about this like one weird character rather than like some guy who saw some TikTok video who now wants to tweet him about it, you know? And you know, in the light of that, I'll be the first one to say it. I'm glad Tolkien's dead.
Another quote from Tolkien is, "He represents something that I feel important, though I would not be prepared to analyze the feeling precisely." And this kind of sets him up to be like, he does have a feeling for Tolkien. Maybe he back engineered it. Maybe he did it retro, but it all to say Tom Bombadil's still a really cool, interesting character. And there's a lot more to talk about him.
Yeah, so, again, I say all this as somebody who hasn't read Lord of the Rings and doesn't know who Tom Bombadil is, so I'd definitely be wow. Like with anything on this show.
Tom often speaks in rhyme and while singing. And so one thing that is a description for him, which goes along with the first photo or picture that I not photo, just a picture, an illustration even.
This real actual picture of Tom Bombadil. It's like the Bigfoot photo, just like he's in the background of the movie.
And there's a song he sings that old Tom Bombadil is a merry fellow, bright blue his jacket is, and his boots are yellow. None has ever caught him yet, for Tom he is the master. His songs are stronger songs, and his feet are faster.
Oh, wait a second. I need to do something.
What?
If you rearrange those the letters in that poem, it spells out "I am the Zodiac Killer."
Looking.
I was just thinking. I was like, I know they adapted him into season 2 of Rings of Power, and I'm like, I need to check if the actor they hired and the costume designer does he have a blue jacket and yellow boots? Because they fucked up so much in that show.
Rory Kinnear.
He was in Rings of Power?
I know Pete so well that this is my next point, and it even says can talk about this with Pete maybe in brackets next.
Okay,
so yeah, it is Rory Kinnear. He does not have a hat on, from what I could see. Maybe I don't remember your exact point.
I see some pictures of him with a hat.
Okay, so maybe he has the hat on. I'm not sure, but he is really not fully himself. He like helps Gandalf get his staff. Which is also the like learning of Gandalf's name is happened. It's like Gandalf, which means something staff in the show. You can pretty much throw out the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power interpretation of Tom Bombadil.
You can throw out a lot of their interpretations, which again is not the fault of the show. It's the fault of lawyers and like the weird ownership. Like they just made do with what they had because Jeff Bezos wanted Game of Thrones and they fucking biffed it, obviously. Yeah. But I was like, I think they could have the Rings of Power production people absolutely are the type of people who would biff it so hard that Tom Bombadil does not wear blue, despite the fact that is one of 3 trivia points we know about him. And I see multiple pictures of him on set wearing a blue jacket, which is fine. I can't see his feet.
They didn't put him in the scrotum armor from The Witcher season 1, so I think that
exactly.
They got a one up on that, you know.
But he's wearing blue. So that's fine, because I was like, they're going to just put him... He's just going to be like a guy in a brown outfit, because that's what all the costumes that fucking show are.
What's wrong with scrotum armor? Like, scrotums are like famously vulnerable. I feel like that's a good thing to have.
Right?
You think it's a misdirect? This is why they wanted to do that?
Yeah. I know. Hit him in the armor. Hit him in the nutsack. It's right there in the middle of his chest. He'll hate that. Wait, this nutsack is like hard and made of steel or something. Oh, I've been stabbed.
And no shade out there for any fans of Rings of Power. I'm sorry.
I liked it for what it was. Like, I didn't expect it to be 100% faithful, but I was like, you know what? Big budget fantasy stuff in a world that I like. Let's do it. And I was fine with it. But
Yeah, it satiates you. It's methadone when you're between watchings of the trilogy that came out 20 years ago.
I've only ever watched it while either on the treadmill or playing World of Warcraft, though. It's always something that I did like at the same time as doing something else. So maybe I wouldn't like it as much if I just had to raw dog Lord of Rings, Rings of Power. Yeah, so yeah, that not super faithful. So if you've seen him there, try and wipe that a little bit from your mind. The singing, kind of have a fun time guy. That part, I guess, is still real, but not super accurate to who he is. I have a longer quote here. This is an amazing quote to kind of give an idea of where he comes from. And it's the most information we really get about him. This is from the first book. Frodo ends up spending a couple nights at his house. We're going to talk about that timeline. But at one point, Frodo's looking up. He's in the old forest. He's seeing like magical stars that seem to always be out. And everything is magical and just like beautiful. The silence is almost a weight on the whole forest, even though it's a forest with living things in it. And he breaks the silence by saying, "Who are you, master?" Frodo says to Tom Bombadil. "Eh? What?" said Tom, sitting up and his eyes glinting in the gloom. "Don't you know my name yet? That's the only answer. Tell me, who are you? Alone, yourself and nameless? But you are young and I am old. Eldest. That's what I am. Mark my words, my friends. Tom was here before the rivers and the trees. Tom remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He made paths before the big people and saw the little people arriving. He was here before the kings and the graves and the Barrow-wights. When the elves passed westward, Tom was here already, before the seas were bent. He knew the dark under the stars when it was fearless, before the Dark Lord came from outside." So, pretty dang old. That's before the first stage, if you guys can
as old as
that.
the old forest.
Yeah.
Damn.
Before the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
He's pretty
like,
crazy.
Also, like older than Treebeard, I guess, because I think I'd heard and continued to believe that Treebeard is the oldest living thing in Middle Earth, but I guess not.
No, Tomba is actually older. They're kind of similar. Treebeard is very old, also from like the early times. But when he says before the trees, like literally before the trees, Tom is probably around before Arda. Like he's before Middle Earth was sung into existence. Tom existed. So
he was just like waiting there the whole time.
yeah, he's just.
I think he was like sitting there like singing jaunty tunes and like talking in rhyme to one of those like big shrimps that lived like 500 million years ago. He's just like, tell me your name. It's like, yes, okay, Anomalikaris, and it's just like chittering little flippers and whatnot. He's just like, oh.
Treebeard like pulling himself. Like no, he doesn't have like branches that go out to the side. They just go straight down. He's like pulling himself out of the water onto the beach.
Dude, I just rewatched the trilogy like last week, and it's so cool when the Ents come and they knock down the big dam, and all the water floods into where all the like Uruk-hai and stuff are working. It's just very, very good.
Yeah. Isengard,
that's right. So yeah, that covers a lot. He's older than literally anything you'll meet in the Lord of the Rings, like in the movies, in the books. He's older than everything. Maybe in the Silmarillion, like
must be right.
Is he older than Sauron, because Sauron is one of the Maiar,
Valar,
right?
or a Maiar. Yeah, he's like a tier 3 angel.
Yeah, he's like after the Ainur. So it goes Iluvatar is the big god. Iluvatar is God, capital G. He gives birth to the Ainur, which is like a bunch of holy people.
Ainur is Australian for anus, obviously.
Yeah. The most powerful of the Ainur is Morgoth, who is actually, he is like, that is Sauron, right? Sauron
no,
is Morgoth?
He creates Sauron.
No,
Sauron's like his servant, because Morgoth is dead.
Is Melkor,
right.
Yeah.
It's Melkor. That's the one I'm mixing up.
That's it, yeah.
So Ainur is like all the angels. Morgoth is the most powerful of the angel. It becomes the fallen angel kind of thing. Then the Ainur split into the Valar and the Maiar. and the Maiar, some of the Maiar become the Astari, which is like Gandalf and
The Five Wizards, yeah.
the Five Wizards and stuff. But Tom Bombadil is like gray area Ainur. Like we don't know for sure, and we'll get into theories of what he is. Yeah.
Oh,
so he's one tier. He's like one tier below capital G God. Some people think he might even be capital G God, but that's a theory, right?
It's just like Iluvatar. This is how he chooses to appear. Honestly, if I was God, it sounds great.
He says everything in song, right? That was I knew Iluvatar's thing too, right?
Yeah.
I would much rather be him rather than my own son, were I to make an appearance on Earth as God himself.
Yeah, we'll get into some of those theories after the break, I think. But first, let's just find out what we know about him, like right now. Yeah,
he's a merry fellow. He's got a blue jacket and yellow boots.
Yep,
and he's old.
He's very old. He lives in the Old Forest, a fitting place for an old person.
He's a creepy old man who likes to sleep on the ground and wake up and ask children questions. I mean, relative children to him, right?
Oh, don't worry. He's got a wife. His wife's named Goldberry.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's the next picture that I provided for you guys.
It's Halle Berry's mom. What the hell?
That art is actually from the Magic the Gathering card.
I was gonna say, I don't think the older picture of Tom Bombadil I remember from a book I had as a child. I don't know if they would have put this absolutely like dummy thick Goldberry in a children's book in the Scholastic book order.
It's the thickest version of Goldberry, and that's why I provided it for you guys.
It's good.
She's given that that fairy from what was it, Rayman, the little nymph thing.
She is.
She gives.
She's classified as a nymph in game, by the way.
There you go. Yeah.
In Magic the Gathering.
Magic, yeah.
I wish I could remember the names of them, but I know the entire unit are the bodacious nymphs of the glade from Rayman. So she is a very bodacious nymph.
Yeah. So he's got his thick mommy who lives with him in the Old Forest.
I envy this man more and more. He lives in the woods. He's always in a good mood. He's married to just like a thicker than oatmeal nymph. Come on, dude.
I mean, it turns out living in the woods and being married to a thicker than oatmeal nymph are maybe the keys to happiness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're envying him his happiness, not the choices he made to get himself there, right? Which was be immortal, live in the woods with a beautiful woman.
Yeah. So she's thought to embody the seasons. Like I heard one person say, Bombadil is like the old English countryside, and Goldberry, the River Daughters, is the beauty of the seasons washing over it. So Tom is like resolute and like always the same, and she's kind of this changing beauty that stays with him, which is nice to think about. So yeah, she just exists. That's good to know. What are Tom's interactions with the hobbits? We'll get into the sequence of events that happens in the book.
Well, we know he talks to Frodo in the Old Forest.
The Old Forest is pretty close to the Shire. It's just to the east.
Yeah, right on the border of Buckland, I see.
Yeah.
And the Brandywine River.
Mary quotes the myth of ants and whatnot, right? He's like, there's old trees on the borders of Buckland. Yeah. When the Uruk-hai are discussing eating their legs.
Very good, Pete. Very good. I didn't even know that. But that sounds absolutely right.
I'll allow it.
Quote from the movie, maybe not from the book. Don't know. Didn't read it.
Objection? Overruled.
Damn.
No, overruled is good for you.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
So now let's smash cut. We're with Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. So 4 little hobbits just barely fresh out the Shire. Their big hairy feet are not even that dirty yet. So that's pretty good.
This next step is the farthest I'll ever be from home.
Yeah.
You could have just said that forever.
Do you think the tradey, the trade school hobbits, have like calloused feet, and they ridicule the soy urban hobbits who like work at home for having like soft feet?
Yeah.
My feet look like this, so my nymph can look like this. So the first, one of the first problems that Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin run into in their long journey is they're attacked by Old Man Willow, a malevolent ancient tree that looks like the Deku tree from Ocarina of Time. I put a picture in there for you guys.
He's got like whiskey bulbs all over him. He looks very bad.
Yeah, he's a haggard ass Deku tree. So good comparison.
Yeah. Merry and Pippin get shoved in the mouth of the tree by the tree.
Okay.
And Frodo and Sam are in big trouble. They're like, what the hell do we do? We're trying to get rid of this ring, and there's this crazy old tree eating my friends. But just in time, Tom Bombadil comes skipping along, singing cheerfully, and commands the tree to release them in song, and it does instantly, which is great. As Tom Bombadil moves through the forest, trees move out of his way. Like, this place is magic and like completely, he's bound to this place. He loves this place. He's pretty much invincible in this place. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
No tree's gonna slow me down, huh?
Nope.
No tree's gonna pin my legs.
He invites the hobbits to his lovely home, and without breaking his stride. Never gonna hold him down. Whoa.
Gonna break my style.
So the hobbits do stay for 2 nights at Tom's house, where they meet Goldberry, his super thick and radiant wife, the river daughter.
Now, is Tom look, he seems like a very happy guy. I'm not going to say he's giving cuck energy, but he's kind of got a bit of that aura to him. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it would just be like hey, after, living, like being immortal, like do the hobbits run a train on her, or is that explicit in the books? Or,
yeah, so sometimes it's the guy. It's the guys
talking
who are
about
acting.
like 15 letters asing the exact same thing in the 60s.
It's the guys who are acting way too merry who are asking the guys who look like children to fuck his wife.
Yeah, right? That's what you got to worry about. Yeah. They're like 60 years old. Come on, grow up. Tom Bombadil's wouldn't even be allowed near them if they were as old as they look.
And to be fair, Tom, he's been said to be like kind of between human and dwarf and hobbit height. He's about 5 foot flat, so it's not a big stretch from where it's kind of like bros, But
yeah, he's like the tallest guy they've seen that's not Gandalf, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a giant. Whoa.
Tom. So this is a pretty big moment in the book. Tom asks Frodo to show him the One Ring. And Frodo reluctantly gives it to him. Tom takes the ring, throws it in the air, makes it disappear, catches it, makes it appear again, and returns it to him. He even puts it on at one point and does not go invisible.
Yeah, that's one of the other things I knew, is that he's the only being anybody ever sees where the ring has no effect on him whatsoever.
No effect on him.
Which is why I think he's a tier higher than Sauron, personally, just because he's stronger than Sauron's magic.
Yeah, you mentioned go invisible. Does the One Ring make everyone go? I thought it was just it did that to hobbits because they were that was their nature.
Great point, Ethan. So this is something I started to talk about on the bonus, but there's kind of 2 worlds in Middle-earth. There's the physical world where most of the people we meet live on, and then there's that wraith world where every time Frodo puts the ring on, all the ring wraiths can see him because it's this spectral, umbral, whatever it is, world.
And he can see them too, because the only reason we can see them in flesh plane is because they have robes on top of their ghost body. They're invisible underneath. Yeah, and so Sauron is so powerful because he's a Valar a Maiar that he exists in both of those planes always. So when he puts it on, he doesn't become invisible. He already exists in both of those places. He doesn't care. To him, the invisible part is an unwanted side effect. He doesn't care.
It just bridges his 2 selves. It's
not even. He's always his 2 selves. He just becomes super powerful. He's always in those 2 places, even without the ring. But
yeah. Just I would say my loreboy's headcanon is that it lets him transfer that power from one to the other easier to have the ring, right? Because if it's taking corporeal people into the umbral plane, it would let him kind of do the same, right? Just transfer power between the 2. That's my loreboy's
canonically, why he's more powerful is when he created the ring with Celebrimbor, or he used the Owl's methods to do it, and he put his own power into the ring. he severed part of himself into the ring, put his own will into the ring, and then it just became like a magnifying force when he puts it on because he invested so much of himself. He's less powerful without it, but when he has it, he's his full self plus more somehow.
Plus more,
so
yeah.
it could be that some play between the two planes. But
I gotta say, it's I didn't know that about the Nazgul, although I guess I could have figured out that they were invisible under there. But it's weird to be so modest to wear clothes when you're invisible, right?
I feel like just killing Frodo and the hobbits in that hotel would have been so much easier if the front desk guy didn't see the behooded, cloaked monsters walk through.
Like they just need the tiniest little knife, right? That you could kind of like not catch floating through the air, kind of thing, and just like a little prick,
or just a single peanut to drop into Frodo's food, and then like swipe his EpiPen.
Yeah.
So this interaction just shows that Tom's immune to this for some reason. We know he exists in both planes because he's high up enough that he exists in all of this. But this is going to be a central mystery to his character. And whenever I have like 7 different theories on who he is later, we'll kind of talk into like what this will play into it. So just remember that he's immune to the ring, and there's a couple planes, all that stuff. I actually didn't know the thing about the Nazgul wearing clothes, but that's very interesting.
I mean, I did a little. There's not a ton about them. Like only one of them even has a fucking name. Like there's 9 kings of men. The only one is like
the Witch King of Angmar.
No, Kamul, the Easterling. That's his first name. The Witch King of Angmar is like a title.
Just a title. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The Witch King of Angmar will not even go into the Old Forest. He's like tried to fuck with Tom Bombadil before, but he like stays on the sides and tries to draw him out.
Did he roast him in like an open mic rap battle? Is that why? And he's just like too ashamed to go back to the 8 Mile.
So fucking embarrassed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then Tom Bombadil's like, none has ever caught me yet. Tom is the master. I got stronger songs and my feet are faster.
Does change character when you give it that cadence to it, right? You think that's what Tolkien intended when he wrote it? I wonder. Was he ahead of his time? Did Tolkien invent hip hop?
In Back to the Future 4, I think we could make that happen. Spielberg,
hip hop,
or Mr. Zemeckis. I've gotten emails from you in the past, Mr. Zemeckis. Hit HMU, okay? Back to the Future 4, where Tolkien invents battle rap.
We piss off all black people.
I was gonna say you're right. Black people have appropriated this from Tolkien.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's Loreboy's canon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was. It was Chuck Berry, right? Got his song from Marty McFly, the white guy too, right? Learned to play guitar from him. So they've already done that. So
I remember the documentary. Elvis stealing it. I don't think so. What was I going to say there? Oh yeah, on the Nazgul episode, if anybody's more curious, that's where we talk much more about the Wraith world, because the devs of the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games did a deep dive into it, because their lore is built on top of Wraith world, which is where Celebrimbor is trapped in that fiction.
I reinstalled on the Steam Deck because I've been so into the Lord of the Rings lore lately that I was like, oh, I just want to see what, even though it's not 100% canon, what Shadow of Mordor has to show on that stuff.
They did a really good job with their fan fiction. Like those games are absolutely good. I think they're fantastic. The second one's brilliant as well.
So they stay a couple days. They get to meet the thick wife. They get to see that the ring doesn't work on this guy, which I don't know if that's a great lesson for Frodo early on in the adventure. Right, that some people can just
bad. It's like, can you imagine being like?
It's like meeting a functional alcoholic while you're struggling. Exactly. It's just like he can drink through it.
Just a guy like shooting heroin into his arm, being like, "That's not that bad, huh? Come on, it's fine. I'm fine."
You got a house in the woods and a thick wife. It's great.
Yeah. The wife is like passed out on one of those mattresses that's like half up against the wall.
They call her the river daughter because her lips go so blue. Anyway, so the next step, we had the issue with the Deku tree, the old Deku tree trying to eat the hobbits. We had the 2-night stay in this beautiful place, and the hobbits, they set off and they start to leave, but it doesn't take too long for them to get captured by a barrow wight, a malevolent spirit that haunts ancient burial mounds or barrows, right? And I have a picture or an illustration of it there. It's just a very spooky ghost grabbing a hobbit.
It's a pretty spooky ghost. I'll give you that. I just made the
That's
picture bigger. Oh fuck. Okay. No, that's super spooky. He's looks like a ghost. Close your eyes to your listener and picture a ghost. That's what it looks like. I mean, this illustration at the very least is giving a little bit of the ring race because he kind of has like the crowns coming off of the top of his head,
He looks
like these
furry
spikes.
too.
Yeah. So kind of giving that a little bit. He's got skeleton arms. I guess we all have skeleton arms, huh? Sometimes you don't think about the things you say before you say them.
I mean,
I didn't mean to prejudice this guy. I'm sorry.
they have visibly skeleton arms. At least we have the.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck everyone with invisible skeleton arms. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's very thin. Maybe he's on Ozempic or whatever. He does have that gaunt Ozempic necromancer face. So maybe that.
Maybe I could have killed the hobbits in their sleep if I wasn't wearing this dumb flesh over my skeleton, so I could have snuck in.
Yeah. Just a skeleton with a dagger like hidden inside the rib cage, just like discreetly pull out.
Yeah. So Frodo is taught a rhyme by Tom if he ever gets in trouble in the old wood. And once they get attacked by this spooky, scary ghost, the Barrow Wight, he calls for Tom, and Tom appears almost immediately and banishes the Wight with a rap battle.
Hell yeah.
Incredible.
Dropping bars.
Yep. He does rescue the hobbits, and he gives them swords from the Barrow treasure, which are crucial for later, and he sends them on to Bree. I'm not sure if this is where they get the swords, like in... I should look that up.
The Barrow Wight's not in the movie.
It's not in the movie.
But it might have been a different way to get...
What swords?
Yeah, they get the swords from Aragorn directly after the hotel where the visible assassins come in.
Yeah,
okay, so these
in
are
the movie. He gives them his like knife or something, right? Which is like a sword to the Hobbit.
Yeah,
the Barrow blades are long leaf-shaped blades, which have serpent forms of red and gold. The blades gleamed and would be considered marble. They're just really good swords. So this is like their first weapon drop that they got from an enemy.
Because Frodo gets Sting from Bilbo, right? Whenever they meet in Rivendell. So
that's why I wasn't sure if they.
That's his end game weapon.
Yeah.
For his build. Does Merry keep the same sword with him for the entire time? Because when he stabs the Witch King, it like inflicts pain on him, despite the fact he's, as we've established, a ghost.
I didn't go deep on the sword game of like the books versus the
sword game weak,
movies,
dude.
But, yeah.
SMH my head.
I was more thinking about the rap battles and the thick wife, honestly. But,
yeah, I bet you spent a lot of time thinking about the thick wife this episode, huh?
I honestly opened incognito window and I took a little break. Speaking of breaks, we'll find out what or speculate on what exactly Tom Bombadil is after this little break.
Tom Breakadil.
All right, welcome back from the break. I know I've been really busy. We had to extend the break to about 45 to 55 minutes, just so I could finish my independent research. But how are we feeling, guys? How are we doing?
I'm still a little sweaty from helping with the research into.
Yeah, I'm still a little mom spaghetti from helping with the research into. That's a cool joke from 6 years ago, huh? You guys like that one? I still got it.
I still love the AI Eminem explaining Death Stranding. And I'm like, this is the reason you're never getting an episode, is because I will never be better than this Instagram reel.
I think I've said that, dude. Every time I've seen it, I've thought of you.
Yeah, because I like Death Stranding. And that it's a goated reel. It's up there with Bumber Biftine as a thing that kills me every time.
All right. So before we try and pin down who Tom Bombadil is, let's have a quick reminder on the creation myth of Lord of the Rings. So we kind of touched on it earlier. I provided a picture that's like super rough. It's not a perfect one-to-one explanation because like Istari technically are Maiar, even though it's like Maiar leading down to Istari. But Iluvatar is capital G God. He has these babies, which are Ainur, which are like the angels of the world, Ainur, and they sing together. And there's one voice that is discord and sows discord and like a bad sound into this major chord. He's the minor chord of everything, and that's Morgoth.
Oh,
And
I was gonna say, the Mind Record's a Discord server for Minecraft YouTubers, obviously. He's the moderator on that.
So Morgoth, being the strongest of the Ainur, he goes off and makes all the bad things in the world, but the Ainur still kind of sing for the good and create Arda, or Middle Earth as we know it.
Yeah. What if you wanted to have ceaseless nothingness, but God said, when I wake up in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high. Huh? What
Yep.
if? You ever think about it?
And they sing Hey Ya, the Ainur do. And eventually they create Valar and Maiar, or Valar and Maiar. And the Maiar, like a small group of them, agreed to become human bodies to...
Hey, this is just a plot of Happy Feet. Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. Can
rip them
Morgoth
off.
break it down sexual style? He's the dancing Maiar.
Yeah. So the Ainur, of which Melkor is most powerful, are their angelic beings of different levels of power, and the Valar are those of the powerful Ainur who took part in the music and wish to enter into Arda to bring it into fulfillment. So they brought themselves into the song. They became Skeletor and He-Man, and they left their computer desk watching this Hey Ya video and entered the music video.
Okay.
God,
sick.
I wish.
Does that happen in He-Man?
No, Peter, what were you, born under a rock, dude? You don't know the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe singing Hey Ya? I don't know if is that the name of the song?
It's good that Pete brought that up because that probably went over some people's head. Like Hey Ya, the song that Ethan was singing is sung over He-Man and Skeletor.
The gif of He-Man, right? Where he's got the sparkles behind him when he's still Prince, whatever his name is. Okay.
No,
sorry,
it's good that we haven't
fucking what?
You probably represented half of everyone who's listening.
Probably more. We're old guys. I hate to say it, but
yeah. So the Valar were those of the powerful Ainur who took part in the music and entered into Arda to bring into fulfillment. There were 14 of them, apart from Melkor. And then the Maiar are lesser Ainur who served and assisted the Valar, and those are another level. So the Maiar are underneath the Valar, and then underneath the Maiar are Maiar who stepped in to be the Astari, who are Saruman, Gandalf, Radagast, Alatar, and Polando.
The wizards.
I didn't know the names of the Blue Wizards.
I didn't know either.
I looked it up. I
wonder if it's a Rings of Power thing.
Oh, it better not be.
I don't usually use the Rings of Power wiki to do my research. So,
exactly. You just have to scroll past all and then Galadriel was really horny for Sauron shit, and then you can get to a little nugget of Tolkien's work.
Yeah. Just my last episode, I discovered that the guy who made the Palantiri was really horny for Galadriel's hair, and then made the Cimmerals, which are basically the first rings. But anyways.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah, the Astari step down. So it goes in levels of power. We have Iluvatar, capital G God, Ainur, the ones who are singing the world into existence, Valar, the ones who entered the song,
angels,
Maiar, the assistant servants to the Malar, the Valar. Maiar, the Valar, who are very powerful. Maiar still quite powerful. And then the Astari are 5 Maiar that step even one step out of the music video and feet on the ground. And they help people out. They're kind of like the social workers of the place.
A Gandalf fan.
Gandalf just going to an urban school, and the problem kid who he really gets on along with ends up getting killed due to gang violence.
So I know that there's
killed in a drive-by by a Barrow Wight.
Oh no. They're a real problem. This neighborhood used to be great before all the Barrow Wights moved in.
Yeah, I was going to say just the Whites moved in, yeah. So we'll start off with our first theory. What is Tom Bombadil? Who is Tom Bombadil? He could be a Maya. He could be a Maya or one of the Maiar, a singular Maiar, which is a lesser Ainur. He could be tier 3. So God, Ainur, Valar. And then Maiar. Sorry. God is his own tier. Is tier 0. Ainur, Valar, Maiar. Okay. So he could be tier 3. So similar to Gandalf, Sauron, the Balrogs, divine spirits sent into this world.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feels weak. Feels weak for our boy, I think. Honestly,
I think so, because Gandalf refuses to put the ring on and does get the Sauron vision briefly if he can't fucking touch it. So Mr. Bombadil has got to be
older than Gandalf at least, right? So
yeah,
I agree. He's older than Gandalf. He's older than Sauron and Balrogs. He's
Gandalf
also
doesn't have a thick wife in the movie.
Not that we ever meet.
Mysteriously single old man living by himself. I mean, come on.
That's going to be the Rings of Power next season. That little half hobbit that he's going around with is going to become super thick and become his wife.
I'll tune back in.
Or thick husband, huh?
Hey, Amazon adaptations can go either way, right?
Get a little Samwise Gamgee going for him.
Yeah,
Sam's bi.
Oh, for sure.
At least.
What does that mean?
I mean, on the spectrum of sexuality, I think he's like
at least. So you're saying one direction from bisexuality is lesser, and one direction is more. If you're saying at least bisexuality, because bisexuality is pretty in the middle, right? So you're saying one direction is more, and one direction is less. So I'm asking you, which direction is the lesser direction?
I don't know. As a straight white male, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on this stuff.
We're the experts on this topic, so let's sit back and let's go off.
I'm gonna say bisexual people stole rap music from blacks. Is my theory.
Yeah. So is he a Maiar? So like a Gandalf, Sauron, Balrog type of guy, but. We don't think so. He also has like no interest at all in global events. During the meeting, I forget there was like a name for when they met up to talk about what they should do with the ring.
Fellowship.
It was
the meeting at Rivendell. Yeah, it's
Conclave.
The official title of it.
There's elves there. There was Gandalf was there. I think even Saruman was there because he was like.
I think it was called
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
because if you want it, then you should have put a rink on it. Am I right?
Absolutely.
They just call it the Council of Elrond, officially.
The Council of Elrond. Saruman, by the way, I want to do an episode on by himself, because in the books, like, he doesn't make an army for Mordor. He's making his own army, and Mordor has its own army, and they have their own self-interest. And everything kind of plays into it. But yeah.
Is it? Yeah, but I mean, the movie implies he does think he's doing it. Oh no, I guess he does say like, "Oh,
Palantir is like driving him crazy in the movie."
But that's it.
Right?
Yeah, isn't it
all
like
the interconnected
in the movie?
Shit.
Sauron is like whispering into his mind and driving him mad, right?
Yeah, but really, it's like an ego and like power play thing, and he's trying to undermine Saruman is trying to undermine Sauron. I hate that their names are so similar. George R. R. Mountain does this.
George R. R. Mountain.
George. No, sorry, that's the brother that he fucks in the book.
Right,
sorry.
Yeah. George R. R. the mountain fucker.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Anyways, so Maiar probably not. He like in the meeting in the Council of Elrond, they talk about it. They're like, "Well, who should take the ring? What if we gave it to Tom Bombadil? He doesn't even fucking care about it.
Tom Bombadil on a fucking eagle, dude." Why did Tolkien just do this?
He's aura farming in the old forest. Okay, he can't afford the social interaction. He's got to aura farm.
It's true. So really, like, Gandalf actually speaks up, and he's like, "Well, we can't give it to Tom because he does not give a shit. He'll like probably treat it as a toy, flip it around, leave it in a marsh, and that might delay things. That might bring this like." Conflict 100 years down the line because the Nazgul can't storm into the old forest, but this ring has its own will. It's going to find its way out. This is not going to work because he just does not care in global events.
He's going to give it to a neat bug, and it's going to be a century before we find it again. Like basically.
Yeah. And that's why they couldn't do it. Like he wouldn't fight against this. And this kind of will play into some of our other theories of what he is, because if he's representing something in the story that would just not care about a power struggle, like that could have a couple different implications. But next he could be a Valar. So we could send it up a level. Or I guess, yeah. So Maiar are the servants to Valar, right? So he could be a Valar. Let's send it up one, like Owl or Yavanna. He could be disguised as one of these. He could have godlike control over the land where the trees just morph away to him. Indifference to the ring. He can see through both planes. But Tolkien never supports this idea directly, and he's way too humble and limited. Like he's not having an influence on anything. He doesn't care.
It's all already been created, and again, he's got his thick wife. He's happy. He's reached nirvana at this point.
Yeah, I mean, how much do the Valar? You say like he doesn't care. Like, how much do the Valar care for the fate of Arda? Right?
Are they even around after the War of Wrath? Like, right?
I've never heard of a Valar in like whenever I listen to like a lot of lore from this, and I don't hear about Valars interfering in the world. It could be that they do, but I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, that's to my point. Like, I don't think that disproves that Tom Bombadil couldn't be a Valar then, right? Because it's like maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, yeah, we're just here to watch the show, baby, burn it all down. Hell yeah, I'll sing a new one if I gotta. You know,
I'm not supporting either side of this War of the Ring, but I do need to affect some guy's chances while he's gambling at a horse race. I've got way more important god things to do.
Yeah, I've got my fat nymph wife to bang. Okay, so go play with your little ring, guys.
Yeah. So that one could be real, and maybe it is that Valar don't give a shit, and he is, but we just don't have any evidence for it, other than speculation, which
other than it could be,
which is good enough, honestly. But next, it could be the spirit of the natural world, so he could be like the personification of nature itself. A tree does not care about a ring. The grass does not care about a ring. The river that it sat in the bed of for so long does not care about the ring.
I mean, it could have been conspiring. It's unclear whether the river. I mean, the river is just kind of stuck, right? But it could have had poisonous thoughts just like flowing through it.
It could be. It's stated. Well, we don't know where it was before the bottom of that river, but it seems like it was there for thousands of years. But then also Sauron wasn't powerful enough, so maybe it only acted to push it to the top of the bed once Sauron was powerful enough, blah, 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 blah. But it's hard to say. It's all,
yeah. Didn't Isildur drop it in the water, or is that a movie exclusive? He gets killed in the river, right?
That's as far. So after the War of...
the Last Alliance?
The Last Alliance is the Silmarillion one, right?
No, the War of Wrath is like between the gods and dragons and shit, I think.
You're right. The War of the Last Alliance, which is the last time that elves and men work together before basically Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Is where the Second Age ends and ushers in the Third Age, where Isildur with his broken sword takes off Sauron's finger and takes the ring for himself, which he keeps in like a beautiful gold box, which is later found by people looking for the ring, but the ring's not in it because he dropped it in a river.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah. So Goldberry says he's master of his domain, but claims no power beyond it. So maybe the old forest is just where like King Daddy Nature has to stay.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him cheating on me with a thicker nymph. He's master of his domain. He doesn't want anything beyond it.
Yeah.
He represents harmony and balance. He's unconcerned with power, but like nature, he's kind of an unmovable force. Like every time he's gone up against something, he's out rap battled or out sang it and just won. Like the Barrow Wight, the old tree, Witch King of Angmar trying to come by and hang out. He didn't let that happen. So yeah.
This guy fucking sucks, dude. He shows up, he smokes all my weed. He fucking, doesn't bring any bud. He keeps talking about this fucking ring that he's got to find, and I don't fucking care about it, okay? Like, nah, Witch King, you can't come back anymore, man. You're too much, dude, okay? You got to get your chronic somewhere else, okay? The old forest bud is closed to you.
Yeah. Yeah, your old ghostly fucking robes. Have you washed those in a century,
Dude,
man?
you stink, man. You like you don't even have a corporeal form, and I can smell you from here. Okay, you don't exist in this realm, and I can smell you from here. All
The
right.
next time he sees him, all it is just like 2 deodorant streaks just like floating through the air and like a shower towel.
Hey, man, can I score some of that kind bud now? I took a shower.
So our fourth option, not quite as interesting. He's
Just
just
because he's just hot knifing Morgul hash like over a torch. He's like, "Oh, man, come on." Sorry.
no, it's good. The fourth one is not that interesting. It's just that he's just the oldest thing in Middle Earth. He's in old Italian, sui generis, SUI generis. I'll put it in. Of its own kind is what it means. Apparently
it's like you
that's-
don't even speak old Italian, man.
I really
We've been
don't.
taking it.
Sui
generous.
generous.
Yeah.
Sui generis. Of its own kind, a category of his own. He's
Calling the
outside
first
of
pig.
Yeah. A pig of his own.
Some
A
pig.
pig of his own with a
It's
pig of
Latin
his
for
own.
some pig, is what that
Yeah.
says.
Yeah. Yeah. My thick wife, when I'm not being quite nice to her, I say sui generis. Tolkien writes that he's the eldest, existing before Sauron, elves, or the coming of Morgoth. He could be just like a thing outside of time and something that was fun to write about. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I think he's the representative of God, personally, is my Lord Boy's theory. He's just
Yeah.
unconcerned, especially since the gods don't directly interfere with people's lives, really. It's just like, what if, like, he's just he's just like maybe a way of keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, or not even
He
that,
doesn't
but
care.
no, I don't think keeping
Yeah.
an eye on things. I think it's just like you want to experience your creation, right? Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
wanna
sorry.
be-
I guess that was the wrong word. Not that he's like keeping an eye on things to actually intervene. He's just straight up just like, yeah, saying existence into existence. So I'm just gonna, whatever, sing a thick wife into existence, and then I'm just gonna live happy for a billion years.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yep. So another one, not quite as interesting in the lore, but he could just be an enigma or literary device. Like Tolkien once said, even in the mythical age, there must be some enigmas. So he could be what is just representing what's unknowable. That the world is not structured just around power of good or evil, or just around conflict. That there are just some things outside of that.
Yeah. Cool.
That's something.
Fair.
One that
I
I
mean, I
think is
guess-
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I definitely think that's like the truest one. Is that it's just like it was probably just a fun character to toss in there at the beginning of the adventure, right?
Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah.
So our second last explanation, and I saw this one and I watched like a whole little video on it. I thought it was a cool idea that it was just Tolkien himself putting himself into his works.
How fat was his wife?
Ooh.
Huh? How thick was she? Huh?
Yeah.
How them cheeks clap?
So
Do
like
they be
imagine
Edith
someone-
is not a thick name at all.
True.
well, I eateth all this food.
Oh. Wait, you might be onto something. Yeah. No, she
I
wasn't
think
thick.
No.
Not many thick women in Tolkien's day, though.
No, far less
And
sugar.
two people at the same time Googled Tolkien's wife to see how thick she is.
You get that? We're gonna get the tiny little spike on the Google search index, right? On Wednesday when this episode comes out, we get the little Loreboys bump.
And definitely some people looking up the River Daughter as well. But
Oh yeah, well that's good.
yeah. So Tolkien, what if he inserted himself into his story? Like an author kind of knows how things are going to play out. They should be just writing what the story is and not making it up as they go along. So
It's like that
Assuming-
that character that J.K. Rowling wrote into one of the Harry Potter novels that just looked at Ron and was just like, "Stop in the girl's bathroom," and then she just goes crazy and disappears.
you gotta cut out whatever you said the first
Oh,
word
really?
that you said. Yeah.
When you were yelling at Ron to get out of the girl's bathroom, you cut out pretty
Damn it. Oh well, I thought it was a good bit.
That was good. So Tolkien himself, he should know how the story plays out. He should be unaffected by his own story. He should be just telling the story as is and kind of keeping his hands off and just writing it onto a paper or however you think of the writing process, probably much different for a lot of people, but in the ideal, right? It's not confirmed with Tolkien, but aligns with his personal fondness for Bombadil and his worldview. Tolkien loved language, lore, nature, detached from political ambition. I think that's an okay way to look at it. I don't think Tolkien intended this. But
No, like even could be inspired by him and like what he likes, and it could be like I think he's clearly written as this guy has the best life character, right? So you'd make it the kind of life that you would want to live, but I'm not on that one.
Kind of Tolkien's has always come off to be as like kind of a humble, simple dude. Like he just loved all this stuff, and it just got like wildly huge. But like in the end, the like morals behind at least the Lord of the Rings trilogy is just like it's very like kind-hearted and like uplifting. So just like he's just the nicest man ever, and he lives a happy life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One that I didn't have written here, but I'll add in before our last one is what if Tom Bombadil was an Ainur, which is like the first level top tier angels, because he sings himself out of every situation that he's in. He sings so many things. He could be that many levels up. There's no evidence really other than that his words and songs beat everything he's up against. But since the Ainur sung the world into existence and he has that level of singing, could be.
He can still manipulate it, right? Like he can still control the song of reality.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy saying either Ainur or a Valar who like learned a fragment of the power of song from the Ainur, right? Like learned a bit of their magic to have. My Loreboy's canon will always include something about like his songs being magical, right? It's too perfect. I think it lines up too well. So
and I like that you guys brought up this kind of cynicism about the character at the beginning of the episode, because this is how we're going to finish it. I'm going to crash all this play, imagine, dream, all this stuff. We're going to say probably functionally what it was when he wrote. It was probably a leftover from the 1934 poem, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, before he even wrote The Lord of the Rings. And it was probably inserted into the story. His tone and style are notably different from the rest of the book. He probably just wrote it in at the beginning of the first book. Did he write The Hobbit first?
But anyways, The Hobbit first. Yeah.
But he wrote The Hobbit in the 30s.
But the first the first book of this book, he inserted it in, and it was probably just a leftover from his earlier poems. So
he just had a poem lying around. He's like, all right.
That's a character. I got to get a chapter done tonight, you know?
Yeah.
How are they going to get out of this one? But I really have a lot more fun with like, is it a Valar, an Ainur, a Maiar, all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, what I was saying at the beginning, like I think that's just as canon as any of the rest of it, because that does seem to be a big part of the way he worked, right? Was write something and then in the future, like build on what that thing was after he's written it. So like he wrote this silly poem about Tom Bombadil and then put him in the books and made him a godlike being. You know, like I'm super happy saying that was Mr. Tolkien's plan.
Yep. And that's actually brought us to the end of the episode. If you guys like the Tolkien stuff, let me know, because I kind of just been so into it lately, and I've just been listening to so much stuff. This is one of those episodes where I have my script, but I feel like I could just have a conversation for an hour or longer about the thing. So if you want more of this, let us know in the Discord, discord.gg/loreboys. And if you want to see more of me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I stream on Loreboy James at Twitch. And have a lot of fun there. What about you guys?
At loreboyspodcast on Instagram. Just come check out all our pictures. Send us the reels, baby. We've got the reels. And then patreon.com/theloreboys. There is a preview of my comic available for every single tier on the old Patreon page. Come and see what I've been working on.
Yeah. If you like the show and want to support us, consider leaving us a rating, review, a comment, a like, a subscribe, tell your friends about it. And if you want to support the show financially, you got a couple bucks to kick around for the low price of $3 a month. You can get dozens of hours of bonus content, us shooting the shit, talking about a man getting his legs trapped under a tree and other fun things.
Wasn't Nico Bolas, we swear.
It wasn't Nicole Bolas. It did
No.
happen to Nicole Bolas, as you heard last week, but it happened to someone else this week. Da, da, da. And that episode's coming out tomorrow, or that bonus content's coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned, dear listeners. Links to everything we've described are in the description. So just scroll down, buddy. Okay, Bucko. Just scroll down and take a look at the links that we got there, and consider clicking on some of the links. Okay, unless you're driving.
This guy can like sing things into existence, fight off enemies, and all you have to do is take your finger and move it up 3 inches. Can you not do that,
You're
dude?
so like, hey, young man, take a seat, okay? We're disappointed in you, all right? That you haven't clicked the links already, okay? We're not saying you got to give us money, that you got to subscribe to our Patreon, but you got to go click the links, okay?
No dessert until you finish the survey. Actually,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's starving children out there who don't have audience surveys to fill out. Okay,
Yeah.
buddy,
and it's thick nib for dessert tonight. Okay, so you're gonna be missing it. Okay?
creamy thighs.
Creamy thighs for dinner, or for dessert. So, and I think that would constitute a lore boy.
Lore boys
Out.
out.